Hello fellas, it's October and 22nd NAFO Convoy have reached Kiev. It means we have delivered now 255 trucks to Ukraine army. The war is still going on actively every day. Don't believe silence. Every day Ukraine defends the land. Every day Ukraine defends the freedom of Europe and the world. And we need to keep going. We need to keep helping. We need to have patience to wait for the good news, but we shouldn't wait. We should help Ukraine. That's why all fellas, this is what you do every day, is here. Thank you everyone. Slava Ukraine!
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
How today drones are used? Because is it changed last like 10 months? Because there are more and more things how to basically fight with them and also so maybe say.
In fact, the only thing that has changed is that our anger, the anger of our fighters, has become even greater. The situation at the front is very difficult, but our soldiers are fighting heroically and the enemy is getting beaten. The positions are being held. We're moving forward somewhere. All official reports are publicly available. Therefore, I will not say anything in this regard. There are a lot of enemy drones on the front line every second. We see in the news that the Russians have even more drones than the Ukrainians. Do you think this is true? It's not 1 or 2 times more, it's 10 times more than we have. They have a whole unit, 30 people. They work in this direction. We allocate someone to do this. Whoever is free today flies a drone. For example, instead of cooking, he went to fly a drone to help the guys to correct, to drop shells, to work. This is the difference. As far as I understand, the Russians have more radio-electronic devices than we do. And are they better? What is the main reason drones are lost? They have a very well-developed electronic warfare system. It is very well developed. You realize that every day it is developing more and more. Different programs will be developed. Now you have given us the drones, we'll have to bring them to the guys to reflash them and to beat off all the signals so that we can fly. How does the electronic warfare system work? It jams the signal. They have a lot of trench EW systems and anti-drone guns. It's easier for them, they brought a lot of anti-drone guns from China, which we can't find here, but we want to. So they have this rifle and trench EW system in every trench. We cannot afford it. We are very grateful to our foreign friends who do not remain indifferent to our common grief. And thanks to these gifts you bring us, the most important thing is saved, the lives of our soldiers. Iron is made and bought, but the human life is not restored. It is probably no coincidence that we're in such a symbolic place where this aid is being delivered. These are such sacred places where our ancestors fought with enemies for our land and independence. This is like an official introduction. On behalf of myself and our guys who are at the front line, I want to say thank you again. Bring more and more, and the guys will destroy these faggots and everything will be fine. Ukraine is above all. Putin is a cocksucker, the Katsaps are faggots. The more you bring, the easier it will be for our soldiers. Europe and free people around the world will sigh with relief. Glory to Ukraine! Glory to heroes!
There's one video which is very famous that you was in Irpin, was it? When you got shot and you were still going and shooting, but as I understand you were a sniper or?
Я боєць одного спецпідрозділу.
I'm a fighter of a special unit. I cannot say which one. My profession is a sniper. The story of one cheese in Donbass is over. This is our job. And there are hundreds of them. The story about Irpin. There was a military operation. We came from the back areas, walked a lot, came up closely. The shooting zone was 50 meters. We set on fire a lot of equipment there and killed a lot of personnel. We came out without losses, but unfortunately we were wounded. 3 wounded. I was also wounded there. It was my first wound. I have already got 3, but I'm alive. I was hit in the face by a bullet. My jaw and arm were broken, but I somehow managed to shoot back. Now I am an Iron Man, with a lot of iron in me.
Зараз я желізна людина, в мене куча железяк.
Did you spend later like how much you needed to recover? Did you went to the hospital after that Irpin?
Я втік з госпіталю.
I left the hospital approximately on the 3rd week. They treated me up a bit. In fact, there was no time. We were surrounded and had to work.
How long did you then stay to the shooting and what time did you evacuate it?
Нас ніхто не евакуював.
No one evacuated us. We walked 10 kilometers on our own. We were walking and carrying the wounded.
Can you a little bit describe how you as a sniper are working?
Вдень вона умирала.
During the day, our work dies because drones are constantly flying. Previously, we could crawl out in the field and lie down, but now it is more closely monitored. We have anti-drone equipment. Unfortunately, we need more of it. It is called of dome. Due to it, drones cannot fly within a radius of 500 meters. It is a closed sky. We need such things. They are expensive. We have them, but very few. We usually work at night.
В основному вночі.
I've seen that there are special things that prevent a drone with the thermal imager from seeing you.
Дивіться, у нас
We have only recently started to use these things. Basically, if we're lying in the field, we cover ourselves with a tent so that it is a half of meter away from us, and the drone does not detect the hit. I don't hit the tent with my body, and it protects me in this way. This is how we worked in the Zaporizhia direction, where is very difficult now. There is a village called Robotino. There are a lot of drones there now. I've heard about these special suits, but we don't have them. I see on the internet that they are slowly appearing in the Ukrainian armed forces. We really need them. For example, in summer, a thermal imager can be deceived. You have to move slowly. You can cover yourself even with an ordinary cardboard, and the enemy may not see you. The main thing is that it should be of an irregular shape. In nature, there is no such thing as a square, so it has to be shaped like a car's camouflage, so that the silhouette is blurred. In summer, it's hot. Everything heats up and the thermal imager shows bright red. But in the winter, it's more difficult. I saw a video that the Russians have a special machine that understands where the optics work. Is this also available at the front? Yes, it is. They have been using it since 2014. It's called a counter-sniper device, and it's burned out the sniper's eyes. Is this very effective? Unfortunately, yes.
Команда минометный расчет состоит из 4
A mortar team consists of 4 people, a team leader, a gunner, and 2 chargers. The range of the mortar shelling is from 500 meters to 3,500 meters. 3,700 meters is the maximum. The work on one target means 6-8 charges, after which the mortar equipment is reassembled and hidden. Basically, this is work to deter the enemy or support your infantry in assault operations, which means there is no task to hit one point, there is a task to cover a large area in a short time. The fragmentation range of 30 meters and hit accuracy within a 30-meter radius is considered a good result. Do you work with the support of drones? It all starts with receiving the target coordinates from the headquarters. Then these coordinates are sent to the senior company officer, that is, to me, who uses a tablet and a firing table to calculate the installation, taking into account weather conditions and various factors. Then we give our aerial reconnaissance team the command to take off the drones. They take off, choose a favorable position where they can adjust the strike, and then I give the mortar team commander the task to fire. How many kilograms does mortar equipment weigh? Around up to 90 kilograms. It consists of 3 parts. The plate, which is the heaviest, about 30 kilograms, the barrel, also about 30 kilograms, and the bipod, which weighs about 20-30 kilograms. There is no need to count the sight. Basically 3 components, so 3 people can bring it all.
Just the context is, they sent us, this is second car we have given the brigade, and they sent us video. This video is now 5 million times viewed. They have one video when they are just shooting and one guy wear Crocs. So I don't know, but somehow YouTube picked it up 4 months later, by the way. And now it's like 5 million times reviewed, and it also now got the attention of Russian bots. So we have so many Russian comments. But yeah, like.
Is it normal that you work wearing Crocs, or is it a joke? We were living in the basement for almost a month, and we didn't work on the planned goals. But when our infantry was attacked, we had to work urgently. So the guys didn't change their shoes to work quickly. You can't walk around in the basement in boots all the time. They jumped out of the basement and fired when they had to work quickly. That was in Bakhmut. It was the beginning of May. When we were leaving Bakhmut, we were carrying a mortar and walking for 3-4 kilometers.
As
a rule, we use Russian trophy ammunition, armor-piercing ammunition. The Russians arm their assault units with armor-piercing ammunition, not 7M10. They can pierce almost any armor vest. That's why we take their ammunition during assault and use it against them. As for those NATO 8 rounds, those 5.56 rounds with steel core ammunition are probably not given to us because of the convention. Unfortunately, we don't use them in combat conditions for this very reason, because the ones we have a elite core and are weaker, unfortunately. There are very few correct rounds. Even my service pistol has trophy ammunition because it has a steel core. The Russians use tungsten-cored ammunition, and they can easily penetrate 4 or 5 grade body armor. What direction are you in now? Are you also in Zaporizhia? No, we are now in the Kherson sector. There was the 336th Marine Brigade of the Russian pederasty standing opposite us, and we showed them that the Marines are only in Ukraine. What will you use this vehicle for? For evacuation or what? It will be not used for evacuation, it will perform combat missions of a different nature. I cannot tell you the details because I'm the head of intelligence of one of Brigade's units. It will simply perform combat missions. And how many orcs can be destroyed using this vehicle? We have a guy who has already killed 1,000 Russians. He is now on a combat mission. What is this? These are trophies from the Storm Z unit.
Storm Z.
Is this also Storm Z? No, it's not them. It's the 336th Brigade of the Almost Marines. And this? It's from the same place. And these things? Yes, all this stuff was working in the Бердянск direction.
В Бердянском направлении.
Our troops include flamethrowers. There are Soviet Shmil rocket launchers and Ukrainian ones such as RPV-16. There are also heavy flamethrower systems used by the aggressor country, such as TOS-1, which is based on a tank. When it hits, it covers an area of 500 square meters. Unfortunately, we do not have heavy flamethrower systems, but we have a development based on pickup trucks. They install small flamethrower system that can cover an area of 50 square meters. I would also like to tell you about the principle of the flamethrower. When the warhead is triggered, an aerosol cloud within a diameter of 7-8 meters is sprayed, which detonates in 0.2 seconds and creates a fire cloud with a temperature of 2500 degrees Celsius. The effective use of flamethrowers is to hit some dugouts, trenches or buildings. It should be a closed area. It is not rational to work with it in open air. The Ukrainian Volunteer Army UVA is a unit that has been fighting since 2014. It is our unit that performs tasks with mortar crews. There is a large vehicle is needed to transport a mortar and ammunition for it. The main task is to bring the mortar to the position and fire at the enemy. Our fighters are volunteers. All of them came on their own. Some of them even from 2014. There are even people from different countries who volunteered to support Ukraine. If a newcomer joins your team, do you train them? We have a powerful training center. Even the armed forces of Ukraine used this center for training. There are powerful simulators created by IT specialists to train man-portable air defense systems and anti-tank guns. A new type of training for units to be able to destroy equipment is a very interesting topic. Is there any effective way to eliminate the FPV drones? The topic of anti-drone rifles is now actively being discussed, and we receive a lot of them from volunteers. They are quite effective. The guys are also training to shoot the drones down with a shotgun, because it shoots in a burst. The war has been going on for 19 months. There are many dead and wounded. How are you looking for new soldiers? I understand that there are fewer and fewer people in Ukraine. It's simple math. In fact, the resource of mobilization is still large. Many people are coming, for example, ordinary IT people are coming to help. Even if they can't shoot, they can supply shells, drive a car, and so on. You may not be able to do anything, but if you can drive a car off-road, you can be very useful. The same is true for evacuation, medics, etc.
Jest коробка из Estonia.
This is a box from Estonia, and we gave the best we could. But there is another box from Latvia. Let's see what's in it.
Здесь так-то есть. Во! Здесь вообще есть.
There are 3 different Riga balms.
That's of a deer.
Deer. Is somebody killed a deer for that? Wow. Что? What is that?
That's the gray bees.
Bees. Sen так-то есть.
That's sprout.
I didn't know that you guys have so much food.
Yeah, this is
Да, вот видите, есть специальный...
This is a special system to give your team a taste of the Baltics. Actually, I want to thank you. We get boxes of goodies all the time, mostly from people in Europe. When you come back from a mission, it can be cold or wet. Sometimes you don't feel well, but when you open a box of goodies, you eat them with tea, and it's very nice. It helps to cheer yourself up, and you feel like you are at home, not at war.
Не десь там, а десь вдома. Нам дуже багато допомагають.
Estonians and Latvians help us a lot. In my opinion, they are top in terms of volunteer assistance. They are constantly sending something. We had a kickboxing champion, Sergei Maslaboyev from Latvia.
Sorry, Latvia?
From Latvia? Yes, the champion Sergei Maslaboyev.
So, good afternoon everybody, ladies and gentlemen, it's nice to see you here. So we are with my colleague from 79 Air Suit Brigade. You know, this is very famous brigade. We are keeping Donetsk region close to Avdiivka direction. It's Marinka and some settlements nearby. We are just southly, but it's not so far. But the Marinka, from the Marinka and few settlements, we can see already the Donetsk. So it's very close. Now it's a very hard situation over there because Russians use few assaults per day on different direction. They try to push us out, but we are still keeping. Okay, the situation is not so nice. They capture some positions, but it's not critical. The most worst that we are still losing our guys. So, but your assistance and help is very important for us.
But as I understand, like just in last 3 days, Russia lost like 60 tanks and stuff because they had huge, like basically attack in Avdiivka. But in Marinka, as I understand, every day they're doing 2-3 attacks. Or how these attacks actually happening? Are they going to small units or they are using air?
No. The last week they use like very huge attack armors like tanks and other one. So, but before it was artillery shelling from MLRS, even the Sontsepek they used. I was never saw it before, only on a video, but it was a real one. And some settlements they are bombing from aircraft, even 2 times per day.
So this is this huge bombs or
Yeah, this is the huge one.
Okay.
They are now more activized on this direction. So the story about this javelin, in our brigade, in one combat battalion, we have very famous anti-tank unit. He is already destroyed 15 tanks from javelin. This is one of them. So, and this will go to 69 Sniffing Brigade. Also, we have some present like this, some t-shirts and a flex.
Yes, this goes to the guy who was driving it. And
Yeah.
so, but is it any changes in like last 3-4 months what you have seen in the is this new units which are attacking you?
Yeah, in our direction they are using now the regular army, and what I saw they are well equipped, because so now I'm on a drone unit and we can see more close what's going on. I was seeing that they are really well equipped, but also in our direction they use regular army and Storm Z.
Storm Z is probably the ex-prisoners?
Yeah, ex-prisoners.
Okay. And they're using Storm Z just to discover your positions to use artillery, or?
No, just for assaults.
Okay.
But also assault like a regular army. Last time they used 11th armors. They lost 5 of them.
Your brigade is still using Russian armor, or you have also gotten something which West has given?
Yeah, we have westerns like that, and
No,
we have some armors, but I will not tell you which one.
You can't tell?
No.
How far is your home from the front line? Because you're from Kherson.
Yeah.
Like how far is your home because Kherson is also divided by the
river.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are shelling Kherson every day, Russians. So.
But your home is still like
still alive.
Standing.
Yeah, I use it for another people who was very close to the river and their house was destroyed. So they are living now there. So we will pass them this car because the last one was completely destroyed due to artillery shelling. They will use it to bring the guys to the position, also some armor, some munitions, provisions as well.
Basically, you are medical unit which is evacuating from the front line. Just there are many people who don't know. Please basically tell us how is your process, how is your work, how you are evacuating people and saving lives.
Evacuation generally takes place in 3 stages. The brigade has a medical company, of which I am a representative, and each battalion on the front line has its own medics, combat medics. These medics accompany our guys when they finish the missions and are the first to provide assistance. This is the first stage of evacuation. Then, depending on the roads, the evacuation is carried out either by heavy equipment or pickup trucks. And then, at the pickup points, the guys are transferred from the pickups to ambulances that take them to the hospital. The most important thing is to stop the bleeding in the first 2 minutes. If the wounded are conscious, they can apply a tourniquet on their own. They have 40 seconds to stop active bleeding. It is important to have high-quality tourniquets because if you twist it and it breaks, you don't have time to change it.
So this is a new brigade. So is the people in the brigade mobilized or they joined voluntarily? Or?
Many people are mobilized and I'm a volunteer. I came in July. My friend called me and said they need someone with a medical degree. I said, yes, it suits me, I'm ready. When I joined the army, my mom was in Germany. I just called her and said, Mom, you have to come back because someone needs to take care of my dogs. What are the most common injuries? Caused by artillery? Yes, artillery.
So basically pieces of the ammunition is the biggest reason.
In fact, most of the wounds are shrapnel and contusions. Contusions due to explosions.
Do you see that Russia using different like bombs or artillery, or you have also aviation and so on?
The Russians have always had the same tactics. I haven't been around for very long, but what I see with my own eyes is that they act to a point of exhaustion. They bring in a lot of equipment, set up 2 or 3 installations, shoot and launch the next one, and so on in rounds. They can shoot like this for 2-3 days in a row without a break. Then there may be a hush for a few days or a week, and so on all the time. Recently, they have started to carry out air strikes with guided aerial bombs, and just a week ago a civilian house was hit.
What is the most needed thing for medical team beside tourniquet that you guys need or what you're missing? Because I know tourniquets are number one thing. Every team asks, please give me tourniquets. But what else basically is in the need?
Я не знаю, як в інших.
I don't know about other brigades, but our medical company has been working very hard to provide our guys with medicines. These are seasonal medicines now. It's cold now. It's even colder in that part. These are seasonal diseases.
Ну, загалом це сезонність.
Does your brigade has also people who look mental health and how stable are people on the front?
У нас є
We have a combat stress control group. Particular psychologists who work with people after shell shock, work with people with a nervous breakdown.
зриви, які виходять з позиції.
Yes, of course.
Да, потому что тоже это хотели тоже узнать, как у вас.
You have a very difficult job. You see a lot of bad things and difficult things. How do you withstand all this? How do you focus on your work?
Фокусировать работу и так далее, потому что
Фокус виключно на тому,
The focus is solely on what you see. You focus your thoughts on what you can influence. There is no point in thinking about what's happening outside that I can't influence. There is where I can help. And I don't pay attention to what's happening outside because I will be scattering my attention and will be ineffective.
Ми 80-та бригада, 3-й батальйон.
We are the 80th Brigade, 3rd Battalion. We are standing in the Zaporizhia direction. It's hard for the guys. We need to beat the shit out of those faggots. What can I say? Those who serve and fight for Ukraine will understand.
Той розуміє, тут трошки по-другому. Там і
There are infantry, artillery, and aviation. Everything is against us. We're making very good progress, so the victory will be ours anyway. Of course, we have losses and a lot of wounded, but the guys are doing their best.
хлопці стараються.
А почему у тебя такое?
Why do you have such a call sign? Psycho.
Sorry, псих, да.
Позивний. Це позивний, просто виїжджаємо.
We just go where it is not very safe.
Ну, робимо такі соответствия.
I go where I don't have to.
Сейчас у вас есть вообще, да?
Do you have any rotations? Or is it such a time that there are none?
Запорожье было так активно или такое время сейчас нету?
Даються хлопцям.
The guys are given vacations if they really need them. We have to defend Ukraine, and then we will rest.
Стоювати Україну, а потім будемо віддихати.
Hey fellas, so we just today met with so many brave soldiers. Probably this is the strongest and bravest people I have met in my life, and this is why we keep doing them. Because in this moment there are real people, the most bravest men and women who are fighting and dying for Europe freedom. Meeting them, for me personally, is the most inspiring every time. Because the stories what they are telling us, giving the reason why we are helping, it makes big difference to meet them, understand how they are fighting, but also understanding how motivated and how brave they are. So I'm deeply thankful for all of these soldiers, but also fellas, we cannot give up. We have to be patiently helping Ukraine every day, because war is going on every day, every moment and every hour. Thank you fellas, let's fight, let's help Ukraine to win. Slava Ukraine, Героям слава!